Welcome to Week 4 NFL Picks. Alex Flum alongside Lamar Johnson and Liam Beatus. We have an injury report for you today. Jake Brodsky out with a cold. Also, Liam and Lamar were both probable coming into the picks this week for being a Giants fan and an Eagles fan, but they're all good now. Let's take a look at this week's standings. Jake Brodsky still in first place, even though he went 3-2 last week. 9-6 overall. Liam and Lamar going 4-1, winning last week. The seat change worked out, I guess, so they got to sit on the ends every week now. Tied in second at 8-7, and I went 2-3 last week, and I'm in last at 7-8. Got to get back on track this week, so I might as well do that. Let's start with the first game this week. Ravens at Steelers, Thursday night. Big Ben going down with a devastating injury last week. Liam, who you got in that one?
This week, I figure the Steelers are at home, Heinz Field. Despite not having Ben Roethlisberger, all Michael Vick really has to do is hand the ball off to Le'Veon Bell. Baltimore's front seven hasn't been the same since Terrell Suggs has gotten hurt, and Le'Veon Bell could explode for over 150 yards. I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree. They still have that rush, that potent rushing attack. Ravens really have just been a weak team this year, and they lost to the Raiders a couple weeks ago. I just don't see any way Ravens beat the Steelers.
I've really been flip-flopping back and forth on this one. Ravens are currently 0-3. They're going on the road. You feel like this is a game they feel like they have to win. Divisional game. Pittsburgh down, Ben Roethlisberger. I've really been leaning Ravens, but just the weapons that Pittsburgh has, I feel like Mike Vick has just enough to get them the victory. Hand off to Le'Veon. You have Antonio Brown on the outside. I feel like there's enough weapons that even without Big Ben, they'll be able to squeak out against this lesser Baltimore Ravens team.
All right, Jake picked the Steelers. That's his pick for this game. So we'll move on to the next game on Sunday. Eagles at Redskins. This is going to be a tough one for me to pick, Lamar. I think I know who you're going with, but Liam, let's hear who you got first.
I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, after losing the first two games, have found a way to win. They did so in very convincing fashion in upstate New Jersey, and I think they're going to do it again. They're in Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get the job done. I don't think Washington is all that good. No offense.
I would agree with that. Last week Kirk Cousins proved what we all thought. He cannot win and can't perform well in big games, and the Eagles got to win over the Jets and got the confidence they need. I'm going with the Eagles in this one.
Flum, I know that had to personally hurt you a lot.
It was tough.
Being a Redskins fan. I'm going with my Eagles. We have life. Beat the Jets up in MetLife Stadium. I think we're coming to town. And
No
we're
pun
gonna
intended.
Beat the Redskins.
MetLife. Got life from MetLife.
Life from MetLife.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. But yeah, I think we come to FedEx Field, take care of business, keep rolling. I just don't think the Redskins have enough.
And Jake picked the Eagles in that one.
Wow, Jake
Whoa.
picked the Eagles
So we got
too?
You guys both really surprised me on this one. I
Clean
thought you guys were
sweep,
going to go with your
clean sweep,
team.
two games in a row.
Jumping off
Let's
ship.
travel across the Atlantic Ocean to London. Jets technically visiting the Dolphins. Liam, who you got in that one?
The Dolphins aren't good. The Jets will win this game. This is going to be an ugly, maybe 12-6, 9-6 type game because, the Dolphins can score somewhat, but the Jets' defense is pretty overpowering. London games tend to be a little bit weird, so I'm going to take the Jets in a weird score, maybe an unconventional football score.
Okay, I'm going with the Dolphins in this one. I think they're just going to get it together this week. Yeah, their only wins against the Redskins, so that's why I'm saying get it together, but I think they'll figure out ways to get Lamar Miller down the field. Not Lamar Johnson, Lamar Miller. I think Devontae Parker is going to have a breakout performance as a guy who's getting more snaps every week. And fantasy players, maybe plug him in. And then Jake picked the Jets. So that's Jake's pick, Lamar.
I'm also going Jets on this one. Sorry to leave you out there, Alex, but I just don't think the Dolphins have enough firepower at all to really beat this Jets team, who looked really good through the first 2 weeks and then just happened to run into a better Eagles team. I think they get back on track, beat the Dolphins in London. I'm also, probably a weird score.
London
The
games are
12-6,
weird.
Steelers.
Also at
score was
9:30
weird.
a.m., so I won't be watching.
Although the Dolphins score a lot, I don't know. It's going to be a weird score.
All right, well, let's move on to the next game. Vikings at Broncos. Liam, who you got?
I'm going to pick the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are at home, and I think Minnesota, they're a team on the rise, but I just don't think they have what it takes right now to go into Denver and beat Peyton Manning on his home field. You see that passing offense starting to roll again. I think their best success is when Peyton Manning is throwing the ball. Not sure what they're going to get out of C.J. Anderson being hurt and Ronnie Hillman just not a great back, but I'm picking Denver regardless.
Going into last week, the Redskins were the number one defense in the NFL. Right now,
What happened?
It's the Denver Broncos. We don't need to go into what happened, but the Broncos have the number one defense in the
So
NFL.
you're saying Minnesota's going to win the game?
And, no, I'm taking the Broncos in an easy one here. Lamar?
I'm also taking the Broncos, but I'm not going to say this is going to be an easy one. Teddy Bridgewater is having a solid year so far. Pearson looks like he's back on track. I think the Vikings are building very well in Minnesota. I just don't think this is the week they take down the Broncos.
And Jake picked the Broncos in this one also, so another sweep there. Let's move on to the upset pick. Liam.
This week, I'm going a little out there. My upset pick is going to be Famous Jameis over Cam Newton, number 1 overall picks. Square off, this time in Tampa Bay, in a division game. I like what Tampa Bay's doing. I know they're on the rise, and I'm not sure Carolina's as good as their 3-0 record says.
You know, the Bears made some personnel changes this week, traded away Jared Allen, made a couple other trades, and I'm not so sure how much I trust the Raiders right now. I'm taking the Bears at home to beat the Oakland Raiders.
My upset pick this week is going to be the Chiefs over the Bengals. After the Chiefs finally got their first wide receiver touchdown since December 2013 last week, and I think that's enough to get Macklin back on track, and I think this offense gets going and beats the 3-0 Bengals.
And Jake Brodsky picked the Browns to beat the Chargers this week.
That's bold. That's bold.
It's bold. Yeah, but thanks for watching our video. Sorry Jake couldn't be with us today. We have this football to resemble him for these picks today.
Football does take a toll on people. There are going to be injuries throughout the year.
Yeah, it's been a gruesome year with injuries in that case. But we'll see you next week. Hopefully I'll take over first place in picks. But for now, have a good night. Thanks.